I can just keep asking you questions as well. So
Yeah.
let's just go back into that. You were saying how my generation's really smart and good looking.
Yeah, you excluded me. But like, no, you guys are smarter because you're sort of seeing the what do they call it, the .com era, that kind of stuff. Like you've seen people like Mark Zuckerberg just go from zero to boom really quick. So the traditional manufacturing type businesses of owning a printing company or owning I've got a good mate that made a lot of money out of the waste industry and bits and pieces. There's not many young people that are getting rolling their sleeves up and getting their hands dirty in those kinds of businesses.
No.
But there's a lot of people saying, okay, what in IT can we do? So I guess you're looking at business in a totally different way. You're thinking smarter. You're kind of lazy, which is a good thing. That's a good thing in my opinion, because you don't want to do the stupidity of repetition and hard work that I did, for example, when I got started.
Yeah.
Instead, you want to be thinking, how can I do this smarter? How can I leverage this to less effort, more results, those sorts of things. So your generation's really, you're in an awesome time, really. One, you've got a whole heap of people retiring out of those manufacturing businesses, so there's all sorts of new opportunities. And two, you're smart enough to take advantage of the internet. I'm just on the cusp of it. I'm just like Instagram. What the fuck is that? I'm able to just slot in. But that's why I need you to help me with my social media, because I'm stupid. I'm old.
You're not stupid. Not old either.
Yeah,
it is cool. It's like the information age. It is a cool time to be around. I've been reading a bit about it, like blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
But what else is there? Just like in the editing out zone right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, in the last video, we didn't get what's next.
Yeah, should we do that?
Yeah, let's go. What's next? So, what's next?
Well, as I said, it's not really about. Well, growth is next, really. So I'm dotting printables all around the country, and I want to put 100 in Australia. And once I do that, I'll reevaluate and figure out where we're going from there. But I guess the ambition is to be world class, the very best in the world at what we do. And there's nothing stopping us. When I look out there, there's a whole bunch of people doing a really average job at what they do. So it's actually not much harder just to be a little bit better, but I want to be a lot better. So what's next is growth. And speaking of sort of like a global level, one of the really, really cool things about what we do is, and a lot of people don't know this, is we actually support a lot of families overseas that need, we put food on their table, give them stable incomes and perhaps not so wonderful environments or economies. So what I mean by that is we've got people in the Philippines that we support. We've got people in rural parts of Italy. We've got people in Russia, Egypt, all over the place, people that we're giving stable incomes to, and they're helping us out and assisting. And your generation's really cool, again, being that you can sort of think about this. You can think about how you can plug into these people on the other side of the world that are really, really smart people. They just need an opportunity, and I tell you what, they're so loyal. And what that can do for your organisation, it doesn't replace New Zealand labour. What it does, it reinforces it. So you guys can basically be working as teamwork, and you can make a much, much better business that doesn't sleep. I mean, what about people working in the evenings, sitting on your website, and they're chatting to your customers at 12 o'clock? That crazy person's online buying business cards.
Yeah, it is what's missing.
Yeah,
is that personal touch to the internet. Like, the new age is awesome, and you can get all this information, and it's like get it all there. But sometimes you just want to talk to a human.
Yeah.
And so if you've got people around, then it's definitely, and like you said, because different time zone over there. It's the middle of their day while you're in sleep. So.
And I tell you what, employing people overseas, contracting them, is really cool because they're so loyal to you, and you're making a massive difference in their lives. Like, I'm traveling over to the Philippines next month, in fact this month, and we're bringing 2 people from the Philippines, one end of the island to the other, and because we've got a couple of PAs over there assisting our account managers here in New Zealand, and they're coming together. So I'm giving them a life experience, which is amazing for them. And one day we'll even try and fly them back to New Zealand and do things and see whether they want to come and just work for a couple of months over here and do those sorts of things. So you can really transform someone's life. So there's an underlying value that becomes really cool in business. So as I say, it's not about the money anymore.
Yeah, contribution.
Yeah.
Awesome. Also the virtue, I think they got cut out the last one as well. So let's go into the discipline and discipline, consistency, and ethics.
Yeah. So what I see out of a lot of, especially young people, is there's no discipline whatsoever. And a lot of salespeople, for example, they can just talk to anybody. They're naturals. They can charm the pants off any girl. They can just walk into a conversation and own it. But they kind of lack the ability to turn up on time. They lack the discipline that they need to do to get anywhere. So they're just naturally talented, but they just don't have discipline, which is a real shame. So I think that's a really, really key part of what you want to work on, especially if you're reasonably young and if you've got what they call the gift of the gab and those sorts of things. You need to make sure you're on time, man. You need to make sure that you're doing the same stuff every single day to get better at what you do. I think like mastery is a really interesting word that I learned from a really cool course, Money and You, if you get the opportunity to go on that course. And I think it's defined as repetition and discipline mixed ends up in being the master of something. So if you think about Bruce Lee, he didn't wake up the best martial artist in the world, did he? But he repeated the same actions over time or whatever they were, and turned that into being the very best in the world. But he had to repeat them over and over and over again. And there's a bit of a story around Tiger Woods. He did the same thing with his short game. He knew it wasn't his strength. He could thump it down the course, but he knew his short game was rubbish. So I think he, I might be wrong on some of those facts, but I think he practiced every single night. Same with Michael Jordan. I think he got fired off the basketball team in college, and so he got so pissed off he went home and shot a few hundred hoops every night, and then he became the best in the world. So that repetition and the discipline. So is that discipline being the really important part?
Yeah.
To set your mind to it and go, screw it, nothing's going to get in the way, takes you to mastery, and you can become the best at what you do. So why the hell not?
Yeah, repetition.
Yeah.
Keep going over it.
Yeah.
It's a good one. That's good. Every time you say stuff, I'm like, he's talking to me.
Yeah. Well, I am talking to you.
Yeah.
You just filled out the extra shit.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, you're not supposed to know all these things, but it's definitely something I need to work on. And I know heaps of young people need to work on.
Yeah.
Is discipline. Because, like, it's lazy and not being stuffed, and sometimes you lose track. Especially with so many things can be given to you with the internet.
Old people call it lazy, but I call it kind of smarter.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of old people that do the same old shit every single day and they don't grow from that. Whereas you guys are sort of sitting there searching for something, going, I don't like the way business is run. It doesn't make sense. You're sort of looking for something smarter.
Yeah.
I guess my advice around that is action leads to results. Yeah. So figure it out along the way. Don't sit there and be scared of making decisions. Just get stuck into something. Don't be stupid enough to sit there and do the same thing over and over again without improving, because that's just not smart. Instead, get your hands dirty, get them right into something and evolve it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Just keep going with it until you sort of start morphing it into the way that it needs to be, sort of thing, and just keep working on it.
I mean, what I'm doing with the print company is totally unusual compared to what other people are doing. Won't tell you exactly what we're doing, but having people on the other side of the world remote in to assist us in creating job sheets and our custom-built piece of software and all those sorts of things. It doesn't seem that out of the, scope of what's possible, but other people are using paper and they're sticking it in filing cabinets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they're buying something off the shelf and they just don't have the vision to be able to do that. Your generation's awesome. You've got the vision to be able to do that, which is amazing. So, just just do it. Get stuck into an shitty old industry, and that's an opportunity just sitting there waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It just needs young minds, young smart minds on it.
Yeah.
Like, we're stuck in the dinosaur age. I can't believe that people are still running around with NCR books, which are NCR books are it's a technical term for like your receipt books and all those sorts of things.
Oh.
Can't believe it. Like iPhone apps, all those sorts of things, far more efficient, far smarter, but people still run around with these.
Yeah, there's some people that like to, they don't want to keep up with the times. They see it's bad. Like, there's some people who don't have Facebook and they absolutely hate it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a way that you can get a message out quite quickly and effectively.
But just on those books, I do sell them, so they're fantastic. But no, I'm waiting for that part of the industry to die and something else to turn on. So, but it's taken a lot longer than I expected. So business moves slow. It's a massive, massive opportunity for people with a bit of vision.
Yep.
So,
could you see anything in the future for Printable, like an app where you can sort of store your notes in or something like that? Or
yeah.
That's cool.
I'm just not going to release that information.
Yeah, that's just,
so yeah,
I've
got heaps of ideas. Which ones I execute depends on the priority at the time. Because in business, you're forever, especially when you're someone that's got a wee bit of a creative mind. You're sort of always juggling what's the smartest thing to do when. You've also got those external conditions of, hey, let's throw an earthquake in there. Shit, better deal with that.
Yeah.
Or hey, we need a new production hub in this area. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have your long-term strategy of where you want to go. You've got to be really clear on that. And we've got tools to be able to do that. Because
how do you lock it in? Because one of my things is I get ideas every 6 minutes, maybe, every 8. Sometimes I get peace and quiet for 15 if I'm in the surf or something.
I was just going to say, you're not far off a goldfish for 6 or 7 seconds. So.
But I just keep getting new, like, boom, 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 and I'm always wanting to do this. And then someone will call, or I'll read a newspaper article that's got some country needs help or something. So I'll be like, oh, let's get a social media page and slam that together and start sending them money and create a thing to try and get more to help these people or whatever.
Yeah.
And like recently, Norfolk Island.
Yeah.
My cousin and I have a little family in Norfolk Island. And my cousin rang me, and the Australian government's trying to take the island over. So we wrote a sign at work, I stand by Norfolk Island. We took a whole lot of photos with all these people, and then I start ringing all my other people in Australia that I'm working with to try and get them to jump behind all this as well. But then I'm bouncing where I should be focusing on that sort of what you're talking about, that long-term goal. But I start going like this, and I'm taking the long way every time instead of going down the highway.
I think it's important to definitely do a bit of the fishtailing because you get to learn along the way. I guess like every quarter is a good way to measure it. You write down your goals every quarter, and you might write them for where do you want to be in 5 years, then break that down to 1 year. What do you have to do to hit those 5 year goals within 1 year, and then what do you have to do to hit those 1 year goals within the next few months, sort of thing. So if you can break it down like that, and you do that every single quarter, and you just calendar it, and you be disciplined to bring yourself back to it, you sort of always head along those lines.
So I set a 90-day game plan sort of things.
Yeah, and it should be one single page, just simple stuff. So again, business is vanilla, right? Keep it simple. So like you'll divert, you'll derail, you'll do all those sorts of things, and you just bring yourself back and you revisit those goals. And look, if you write them down, something really interesting happens. You sort of get there, which is really interesting.
Manifest it or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think the action of writing as well. Like if you're typing out what you want to do, it doesn't have the same sort of left brain sort of merging with the right brain, creativity and logicalness. When you write, you're effectively activating the other side of your brain as well, so you remember it better.
Yeah,
it works more effectively. So look, if I'm honest, I derail off this all the time. But when I'm in my prime, and it's not right now because I've just shifted cities and bits and pieces, so you've got to get your routines back and stuff. I'll be waking up at 5 a.m. I'll be looking at that those 5 year goals, and I'll be visualizing where I want to be as the sort of end result. And then I'll spend 10 minutes doing that every single morning. After that, I'll sit here and think about what I need to do today to get me there as fast as possible. And if you can consistently do that every single day, you'll be an animal.
Yeah.
You'll be an absolute animal. I can't remain consistent on that. But again, it's how quickly you can jump back on the tracks and continue on. So
what do you sort of like? What's your idea of downtime? What do you do when it comes to, so you go hard for, say, your 90 days or your 3 months, or you achieve that thing? How do you sort of treat yourself? Or
I abuse my body, so I smash it way too hard. Look, I think some of the world leaders will say that you need to holiday every 90 days because it's on the beach where you get your best ideas. But I think it's also a feeling. You know when you're going to burn out. Maybe you need to burn out a couple of times and screw it up to be able to realise where that is.
Yeah.
But different people can do different things. I know guys that live on Red Bull and they sleep 4 hours a day and they just thump it. They're in their 20s, of course. But for me, need my 8 hours sleep if I that's where I run optimally. And I've been going 6 months without a holiday at the moment, but I'm sort of at the edge of needing it.
Yep.
So I think it's kind of a feeling, and you can't be dumb enough to sit in there on the edge of burnout and sort of not pull back. So if you do every 90 days, that's a standard, but one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah,
like we know that.
Yeah, I need a holiday every week.
Hey, I've got a really good mate. He's quite religious. He should be on the rich list, but he's not. I think he just avoided it. And he is quite, he's reasonably religious. And he said to me, Ash, and this was upon, I think, like a burnout stage of my life. And he goes, Ash, like, he didn't work 7 days. Why do you think you can? And it sort of really, really sunk in. I'm not heavily religious myself, but it really sunk in. Sort of like, yeah, you do actually need your downtime. You just need to chill sometimes because if you're wired a little bit crazy like myself and definitely like yourself, then you do need that downtime. At least one day a week if you can just go and do something else, take your mind off it. Easier said than done sometimes, but...
Definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
Just when you go and try and enjoy yourself. Or like, I went up north last week and the idea was to go get away and not do anything, but I ended up like... on my phone the whole way, breaking out of reception, getting the shit, standing on the roof, trying to do my phone calls and all that stuff. So yeah, it is.
Hey, I'm the same, man. Like every time I go overseas, I'm always looking at real estate. I'm always thinking, hey, how can I buy something over here, or what can I do? So, I walk into printing companies and I want to know how they work and what the market's doing and how they sell over there. So I'm addicted to it. It's sort of like it's an obsession that if you love what you're doing, then it works.
Yeah, because I do love it. I love being really busy and wired, because if I'm not, then I sort of feel purposeless or something. I'm like,
I don't necessarily love printing, but I do love the results we can get out of it for people. Like you can create a campaign or marketing, because I own a design agency as well, that you can create something that's really, really effective and you can really change someone's life from that point of view, or someone's business level. You can really step them up. I really enjoy that part of it. I really love the creative side of it, and that's really what keeps me going. But more importantly than anything, I love the win. I love winning, and I like we were talking about martial arts before. There's no competitive nature in me whatsoever, but I do enjoy its physicality, right? But not that I've been doing it for a while. I've got titties instead, but when it comes to business, I love the win. I get off on it. It's my drug of getting that sale or winning that account or whatever it is, and that's what keeps me going. It's kind of a certain energy, and even the people that I work with that aren't salespeople whatsoever, they still feel it. When they've done something really amazing, they've achieved some amazing goal. There's no other feeling quite like. Yes. Nothing quite like it, eh?
Yeah, I love that feeling.
So, I don't know, that's my addiction process.
Yeah.
Other people get addicted to cigarettes and stuff like that, but for me, it's about the win.
Cool.
It's about moving forward. They say if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotting. So, always moving forward.
Yeah. Well, we've hit a lot. We've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll do the old.
Cool.
Awesome, Ash. And let's do another one of these soon. We'll catch up again soon.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Cheers, man.